Welcome to the podcast, To My Liberal Friends. I'm your host, John Haddo. I want to talk today about the assault on the Capitol a year ago, since today is January 6th. And let's talk about the origins of the January 6th assault on the Capitol. It goes back to the election in November. Donald Trump, then the president, refused to acknowledge that he lost the election. He spent the whole month of November and December rallying his supporters to his cause, asking them to overturn one state election after another. And then he urged people to come to Washington, D.C. on January 6th, the day the Electoral College was to vote. His intent was to somehow try and get Congress to overturn the election results. He condemned Vice President Pence for not doing everything he could to change the election. He then gave a speech at a rally down on the Mall urging people to take action. And they took action. Unfortunately, thousands of them marched up to the Capitol, and many of them, in large numbers, stormed the Capitol and broke into it, causing a great deal of damage. This became a political event right away. Nancy Pelosi created the January 6th committee to look into the origins and actions taken by these insurgents. The problem was it was controlled exclusively by Democrats. Pelosi had the ability to approve anyone Republicans wanted to appoint to the committee. Depositions were taken with Democratic staff only in the room. It became apparent that this was not going to be a bipartisan investigation. This was going to be a Democratic kangaroo court. So where are we today? Over 600 people who entered the Capitol illegally have been arrested and prosecuted. Many of them have been sentenced to lengthy prison sentence. Democrats who have not been able to achieve anything legislatively during the year now want to use the January 6th event as a political rallying cry to their base. Liberals and the media keep asking, is this the end of democracy? The answer is an emphatic no. Other more pressing issues are being ignored by Congress. Where are the issues for inflation? What about the southern border crisis? What about the supply chain? Instead, they want to focus on something that happened a year ago because they cannot solve the real problems affecting us on a day-to-day basis. President Biden today went to Capitol Hill to give a speech. Now, it's not surprising that he laid all the blame on Donald Trump. And I want to assure you, I think Donald Trump deserves a lot of the blame. He created this problem and then refused to stop it when he could have. But in that speech, President Biden says we are a nation of laws. But he seems to ignore when left-wing rioting was going on in major cities around the country. He says nothing about the high murder rates in major cities like Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, Baltimore. He says nothing when liberal district attorneys decide not to prosecute criminals and downgrade to anything less than murder by the Manhattan DA will be a misdemeanor. In summary, it was a tragic day in American history, but it was one day, and we cannot allow it to happen again. Republicans and Democrats alike were shocked and appalled, but efforts to tar and feather all Republicans with the actions of a few should not be tolerated. I'm not blaming all Democrats for Antifa and other left-wing rioters who tore up cities and burned down buildings. We need to remember what happened on January 6th, 2021. But we don't need to dwell on it. We don't need to politicize it. What we need to do is move forward and create new laws that will make us safer, and we need to solve the problems facing the nation today. This has been To My Liberal Friends and John Haddo. Thank you.